What a fabulous occasion in store tonight. Northern Ireland on the verge of the Euros for the very first time. And a first for Northern Ireland's women because they're live on BBC television. And we're also live tonight right across the UK on the BBC Red Button, on the BBC Sport website and on the BBC iPlayer too. So wherever you're watching tonight, you are very welcome. Delighted to say joining us for the match this evening, the former Scotland player and manager Shelley Kerr and the former former Northern Ireland international Stephen Craigan. Great to see you both. What a night we have ahead of us tonight, Stephen.
Well, we do, and the girls have created it, Stephen. You know, it's not something they've been handed. They've had to work ever so hard. And when Kenny Shiels took the job just under 2 years ago, I don't think even they would have imagined that they would have been in with a chance of going to their first major championship. So belief has grown, and belief grows because you win games, you listen to what the manager's saying, you take it on board. And as I said, you have to create it. The girls have created this tonight. Yes, it's high pressure. It's probably the single biggest game in women's football here in Northern Ireland. But go and embrace the challenge.
What have you made of what Northern Ireland have achieved so far, Shelley?
It's absolutely incredible. They had an outstanding campaign, and deservedly so. They're in a playoff game. And I just think that it would elevate the whole country in Northern Ireland. It would be a real shift and change for girls and women's football. I think you look at legacy, you look at young girls want to aspire. These girls have an opportunity tonight to be household names.
A fabulous result in the first leg, 2-1 against Ukraine. The Northern Ireland team admitted that they were very nervous in the first half of that game. How are they going to handle the expectation and the weight of the world on their shoulders, especially when they're missing their record goal scorer, Rachel Furness, tonight as well?
Well, what I would say is the performance didn't show that they were nervous. You know, it didn't faze them at all. And I think if you go away from home and overcome that challenge, suddenly when it comes back to Belfast, then you've been there before. And it is very easy to say to your players, go and replicate, go and do it all over again. But that is the basic message tonight. Although you don't win tonight because you play well on Friday, you have to earn the right, and that's the challenge for them.
Is it a worry that Northern Ireland might be a little bit cautious this evening, do you think, because they're ahead?
I think, as Stephen says, it's pressure. You know, they've not been in this situation before, and pressure is a huge thing. The best teams and the best players can cope with it. But I think that they definitely will miss a key player in Rachel Furness tonight. She's been instrumental throughout the campaign, and it's a big blow for Northern Ireland tonight. Yeah,
OK, well, time to hear from the Northern Ireland manager, Kenny Shiels. He's been speaking to Nicola McCarthy, and he started off by reacting to the news that his record goal scorer, Rachel Furness, is missing tonight.
It's a massive blow because not only do we lose a player, we lose a player who the others look up to, and the influence that she would have had if she had been playing, because there's a lot of tension in this game for us. We've got a very dangerous lead, and we need someone in the team who's communicative and can get people going, and someone makes a mistake, she rallies around them. She's got that personality. We miss the player because she scored in the last 5 games, and we miss the personality.
Yeah, what a huge loss for Northern Ireland tonight. 31 goals she scored for her country.
Well, I think first and foremost a blow for her personally, because she's played such a big part in getting Northern Ireland to where they are. I would imagine they would probably have known after the game she wasn't going to make tonight's game because of the injury. You know, it's not something that kind of disappears if it's an ankle issue. So it's always been there. However, someone else now has to step up. Someone has to try and fill that void. You know, whether it's Marissa Callaghan from midfield, or Kirsty McGuinness, or Chloe McCarron playing off the right. Someone has to fill that. Someone has to go and do her role, get themselves into the box, take pot shots, and be aggressive in their approach. But no doubt she's a blow.
Yeah, Shelley, it's so disappointing to see her hobbling in the Seaview on crutches this evening, isn't it? I mean, you've seen what she's able to do in the Women's Super League.
Yeah, and she's an experienced player as well, but what she will do tonight is she will rally the team, for sure. You know, she will be giving little nuggets of information to the younger players, and she won't be thinking about herself. She'll be thinking solely about the team tonight. But, you know, as Stephen says, there's other players that have to step up to the plate tonight, and injuries are part and parcel of the game, but there's no doubt about it, the team will miss her tonight.
Yeah, Northern Ireland started this campaign pretty poorly, Stephen, but how impressed have you been as how they've grown in stature as the campaign has progressed?
Listen, it was always going to be difficult against Norway. You know, they were always going to be #1 seeds and win the group. It was going to be the head-to-head against Wales for me that was going to be the key difference. And I think that late goal in Kenny's second game in charge away to Wales, when Ashley Hutton got it, you suddenly think that's the tide starting to turn. And you know, you don't give players belief. I've spoken about it earlier. You have to get it through results. You've got to get it through performances. 6 competitive games unbeaten, Stephen, is unheard of for Northern Ireland women's football. So if they're not full of belief tonight, I don't know when they will be. But it's a case of just being calm, having the right temperament, making good decisions under pressure, and making the right decisions at the right times.
We were talking off air about, you know, the Wales game away from home in particular, and you could see, you know, the style of play has changed a little bit. They started to press higher up the pitch, and you could see that goal coming. I know there was only 30 seconds to go, but you could see it coming, and I think throughout the campaign they've done that really, really well, has put pressure on teams where maybe before Northern Ireland teams would sit in a bit and contain and then maybe play in the counter, but they've added that to their game tactically.
And even though there's no fans at Seaview tonight, it's all about keeping their composure, isn't it, and handling the occasion.
I adversely said it to Shelley that it might help them, Stephen, with no crowd, because they can focus on the game. There's no distractions, there's no waving to families and looking for friends and getting to focus on the game. And I think Kenny is one for making sure your mind is on it. There's nothing to switch off and nothing to look for. So I think that might actually play in the Northern Ireland players' hands. OK,
Stephen, Shelley, thank you very much for the moment. The teams are on their way out, as you can see. 90 minutes away from Euro 22 or Northern Ireland. A reminder that extra time and penalties will be used if required. Let's hope not. It's time to join our commentary team, former Northern Ireland international Gail Redmond. But first, good evening to Thomas Kane.
Thank you very much, Stephen. It's a night when the team dubbed the Game Changers are hoping to become history makers. Can the Euro dream become a reality? We're going to hear the anthem first here at Seaview. Rachel Furness is undoubtedly a huge loss to Kenny Shields, but Chloe McCarron looked very comfortable when introduced half an hour into the first leg. It's Rebecca McKenna's 20th birthday today. Laura Rafferty comes in for Nadine Caldwell. Referee is Jana Adamkova from the Czech Republic. Four changes for the visitors, including the goalkeeper, Samson. Kimmich will need to be contained in midfield. with Kunina providing a real spark off the bench in the home leg. Apanchenko is a main goal-scoring threat up top. There is Sampson introduced in place of Samina, who played in the first leg. Final moments before kick-off. Players just going through some last-minute drills before we have a minute's silence in memory of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, who died at the age of 99 on Friday. Rachel Furness in the stands, kicking every ball, heading every ball. As Kenny Shields spoke before the game, going to be a huge loss in the dressing room. And Gail, how will Northern Ireland cope with that loss?
It's a big loss, obviously. I think Kenny said it there just before the match. You know, her character, her leadership within the changing room's big, but they'll feed off that. And she, you know, I talked to her just before the game, and she is upset that she's not involved, but she knows what the girls can do. She knows that she's got belief that they can get the job done in the 90 minutes.
How big a night is this potentially for Northern Ireland football?
For Northern Ireland football, it's massive. You know, we're 90 minutes away of planning road trips to the Euros like we did in 2016, and you know the nation is behind them, and the girls know that, they feel that, and they're ready to go.
Well, it's Kunina getting ready to get this one underway. Northern Ireland upset the odds away from home. If they can avoid defeat this evening, they will book their place at a major tournament for the first time. Ukraine going with the same back four that started on Friday, but the pressures come straight away from McGuinness. Simone McGill's made a run inside and an early take for the goalkeeper. Kimmich is on the ball a lot in the first leg, trying to pull the strings. Interesting to see if McFadden or Rafferty do a straight marking job on her. Kimmich again. Apanchenko. Kimmich trying to kickstart the first Ukrainian attack. Boychenko, one of the new additions for this one, trying to create a little bit of space, playing towards the near post, and the final touch was off the Ukrainian player. Kimmich involved as we would expect because she was so influential, like out in Kiev.
Yeah, I think she's just finished the last game. You know, that she started the last game like she's finished the previous one. You know, she's really made an impact, and you know the midfield's going to have to be aware of her. You know, Sarah McFadden, you saw coming in, clearing those second balls, and she's going to need to continue to do that throughout the game.
And it looks like Laura Rafferty's playing as a centre half in the three with McFadden just ahead of her. Is that right?
That looks correct, and you know she's going to have her hands full there tonight. You know, of being competent in the air and making sure that there's no easy through balls coming through.
It was a real shock, that result on Friday night. Likes of Ashley Hutton described it as an embarrassing occasion for the Ukrainians, so they'll want to make amends, and they've won an early free kick. Again, it was a running from Boychenko in from the right-hand side, causing issues. Wasn't a huge amount of contact there, but it looked as if perhaps McFadden was holding on to the midfielder. Plenty of height in the visitor side. The likes of Kravets in particular, a real danger from set pieces. It's Basanka to take. A lot of movement in there. Burns come for it and claims it, and that's exactly what you want from your goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was thrown in there, and it was a nice height for Jackie just to be able to come and claim that, and gives the team confidence early on in the game.
how important is the first quarter of an hour, because there are bound to be nerves?
Yes, you know, obviously this is new to us. You know, Ukraine have been there before, so there is a little bit of a difference there. But seeing their faces, and you know, as they were walking out, they're ready for this. They're ready to make history.
There's the Ukrainian manager, hoping that that doesn't happen this evening in North Belfast. Apanchenko, her first real involvement, and I think it's going to be another free kick for a handball. Ukraine really pushing up for this one. Instead it goes short. Simone McGill closing down Falenko, the right back, and Northern Ireland back on the ball. Pressure again from the Ukrainians. Started really slowly on Friday. They are looking to try and hit Northern Ireland early on this time. Basanka. Kimmich up ahead, well marshalled though by Julie Nelson, and that's good play from the experienced defender. Rebecca McKenna just ran out of room. So much more urgency compared to Friday, Gail.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you said they had a slow start. It's definitely not a slow start tonight at Seaview. You know, the game is played at a very high tempo, and Northern Ireland are having to defend.
But they defended well. Rebecca Holloway involved in that last attack. Boychenko in shot. Looks to try and pull the strings in the right side with Kimmich in the central position.
And that's going to be Chloe McLaren's really seems to be shepherding Kimmich, because she is just drifting in and out, you know, in those pockets of space, and she can cause problems.
Northern Ireland players and management spoke about the fact that they were such underdogs going into Friday's game. The Ukraine hadn't lost a match in over a year before that point. They'd won 6 of their previous 7, but it was a really disciplined performance, and the likes of Kirsty McGuinness linked up well with the players up ahead. Marissa Callahan, penetrating run from her, and she's managed to win the corner kick.
That was a great third-man run by Marissa. You know, you can see that's obviously what Kenny's been working on in training this week with missing Rachel. You know, Marissa's going to have to fill those gaps and make sure she gets into the attack.
Yeah, very evident that Marissa Callahan picked up a significantly more advanced position than she did in the first leg, but it's resulted in a corner kick. McGuinness's ball in, right on top of the goalkeeper. McGuinness closest to it. Ball bouncing about, and Rafferty was very close to it and just about goes out of play, but a little bit of confusion in there. It was McGill initially, then it's McFadden and Rafferty. And one thing that has to be said, the goalkeeper didn't look particularly comfortable in that situation.
I think
coming back into the starting lineup. Ukraine move it quickly though to the end of the pitch with Kanina. Player of real quality. Very surprising that she didn't start on Friday. And that'll give confidence to Kenny Shields' side. That last set piece. Likes of Rafferty and McFadden, real threats alongside Hutton and Nelson in situations like that. Falenko tried to play it in quickly, and you can see how deep Simone McGill's sitting. Apanchenko. Looked to be a high foot. Another free kick for Northern Ireland deep in their own half.
Yeah, you always talk about the delivery on set plays, and that delivery was excellent for the corner kick to give Northern Ireland a wee chance there at goal.
Kenny Shields turns 65 at the end of this month. I'm sure he's looking for an early birthday present. It's his 14th game in charge. And you had to go all the way back to the defeat to Norway, to the last time that Northern Ireland lost at home. Callahan. Has McGuinness outside her. Now it's Holloway. Ball in towards McGill, doesn't quite make it that far. McGuinness loses out, but keeps the pressure on Falenko. Pansuliaya. Now it's Bazanka. The majority of these Ukrainian players play in their domestic league. One's involved with a French club and another couple in Belarus, but the majority play in Kiev. McGuinness made the switch to Sion Swifts last season and continued her fine goal-scoring form at club level. McFadden to McGuinness. And just like in the first leg, Northern Ireland working it down the left-hand side, having had so much joy.
Yes, again, you know, Kirsty McGuinness has started so brightly this half, and you know she's a real threat. And you know, Marissa being left-footed too, you'll see a lot of the ball go down the left side today. But it's a good start from Northern Ireland so far.
McGill back to McGuinness. I think McKenna was the only player in the middle, and it results in another throw-in. Northern Ireland, of course, started their qualifying campaign with back-to-back 6-0 defeats to Norway, but they grabbed a vital draw away to Wales, then a scoreless 0-0 at home ensured that their destiny would be in their own hands. And well, didn't they take advantage after that with victories against the Faroes and Belarus home and away to set up this playoff showdown. Julie Nelson, the record cap winner, just edges it forward. Her experience will be vital this evening. Abenchenko unable to find a teammate. McFadden. Nelson plays her club football, of course, with Crusaders, so knows every single inch of this place. Such a brilliant servant, a fine hockey player as well with Ballymoney. He's played in European competition in the past, but having been involved with the senior team here for 17 years since her debut, this would be the crowning glory if tonight were to go to plan.
Absolutely, playing at her home stadium. I know all the Crusaders girls are just love it when they come back here.
Lovely little bit of skill from Callahan. Out of play for the throw-in. Good pressure being put on high up the pitch. Wojciechuk unable to get it away. Callahan back to McFadden. We mentioned how important the first 10 to 15 minutes were. Northern Ireland have, after a nervy enough start, have looked very, very solid and disciplined.
Yes, I think they're really managing the game well. You know, they're slowing it down anytime the ball goes out, and you know, off the dribble, Marissa's getting into pockets of space, and again, Kirsty's always going to be a threat from that left side.
Scuffed her shot, Marissa Callahan, but it rebounded off the centre half and away for another corner kick. So Northern Ireland's second opportunity to try and put the ball into the danger area. As per usual, it's McGuinness who comes across. There's the trio of aerial threats there in your shot. Simone McGill right on top of the goalkeeper. As Nelson gets there, first all it needed was a touch from Hutton. Again, the goalkeeper was nervy. But Sampson came off her line quickly to claim that through ball. McFadden lifted over top looking for McGuinness. Takes on Falenko, and well, that'll do. Home side are causing real problems from set pieces.
They really are, and you can see the frustration. They see every single corner kick as an opportunity to score, and I think Sarah McFadden again, hands on her head, knowing that, you know, they are chances, and very unlucky from Ashley Hutton there with the header.
Well, Sampson, you would expect, is going to see this corner drop into that 6-yard area once again. Goalkeeper does a little bit better this time, but it's cleared as far as Basanka. Back though with Northern Ireland and McKenna. Touch for Jackie Burns. Unsurprisingly looks for McGuinness. A real thorn in the side of the Ukrainian backline so far. Falenko's little flick doesn't quite work out, and it's back with Callahan. Didn't quite work out, and it'll be a goal kick to the visitors. Mercer Callahan, 35 now, 5 international goals for the Cliftonville player. It's been a virtual ever presence since making her debut back in 2010. Highly respected coach as well. Apanchenko. Come out by the birthday girl, McKenna, who was absolutely immense, particularly in the second half on Friday. Laura Doherty does well. Referee decides to play advantage, and you can see the run being made through the middle by Simone McGill. Cut out by Shimakto. Northern Ireland continued to play at this frantic pace. Kunina turned Rafferty, and will probably feel that she should have won a free kick in the process.
Again, you see Northern Ireland slowing down the play every time the ball goes out, and there's no rush to get it back in the play. And if you just seen there, Laura Rafferty as well, 1v1s are going to be key tonight, and she's done a super job on Kuna because she is dangerous on the turn.
Northern Ireland, of course, had one warm-up game for this encounter. That was a 6-0 hammering against England, but Kenny Shields spoke about the importance of that fixture at St George's Park just to get the squad back together and prepared for this one. Kimmich. Forced back to Kravets. Basanka, now it's worked forward. Hutton, though, got in the way, and well, it's a very settled back line and a very experienced defence from Northern Ireland's point of view. Kravets. Off the head of Holloway. Brought into the starting lineup after making her debut against the English in that friendly. Kimmich. Panciana loses out to McGuinness, and was aware that she didn't have too many options up ahead, so just shredded it through to Holloway. Was also caught in the process, but is now back in the ball. Well read by McFadden, stepping up. Pays for a handball. Eventually given by the referee, and well, this is a free kick in a good position.
Yeah, and hats off to Rebecca Holloway, the overlapping run she made there, you know, from the back line, you know, 40 yards, the support Kirsty McGuinness just shows Northern Ireland's intent to try and get into the final third.
Just a reminder that Northern Ireland started their qualifying campaign ranked 32nd amongst the 48 teams in Europe. They're the lowest ranked team, still in with a shout of making next summer's European Championships. It would be a huge achievement. As McGuinness, well, just lifted it in, but there was no real pace in that cross. Unlike Kirsty McGuinness, this time Northern Ireland unable to put the goalkeeper under pressure, but they have it back as McFadden finds McCarron. McKenna to Nelson. Jackie Burns hasn't really had anything to do so far. He's had a couple of touches in this type of area of the pitch, and now it's Laura Rafford. Made the switch to Bristol after a spell at Brighton and Hove Albion, but hasn't played a lot of football, Gail.
No, she hasn't, and she talked about in her interview of low confidence until she made the move, and how her new coach Matt Bird has really instilled confidence, given her playing time, and it's proved worthy because she started the game fantastic tonight.
What, 20 months out with a knee problem? I mean, it's a long time, and I know she was a co-commentator for one of these qualifiers. She was desperate to get back, and a massive achievement for her to be involved in such a big game after an injury like that.
Yes, it is, and it can be lonely, you know, when you're in doing your rehab, and as much as maybe you see your teammates, it's not the same with not being on the pitch.
Brilliant crossfield ball into the path of McGuinness. First little flick didn't work out, but manages to find Holloway. And here's McFadden. Nelson. Good ball from McGill to McKenna. McKenna goes down. Referee plays on though, and it's Oychuk. Abanchenko attempting to link up with Kanina, and well, you can just see Jackie Burns. That's good play from her, just saying calm down. Real experience from a player who's had a really good career so far. Back with Glentoran now, but has spent a lot of time in America. First of all on a college scholarship, actually got through to the national championship game during her time in Tennessee and was captain of the side, so plenty of leadership skills there.
Yeah, and we talked about confidence.
Was that actually Rachel Furness hobbling across to try and get that ball in the stand? She bounced across it with a moon boot on. There she is. She was that eager to get the ball back in play, so I mentioned she'll be kicking and heading every ball. She was very quickly across to that throw-in anyway.
Probably just to get a touch, maybe to get involved in the game, Thomas.
McCarran can't quite get there. Well read though by Hutton. Abanchenko now, it's Kunina. Boychenko. Kimmich is in the middle, lifted across the goal, and there was nobody there in Ukrainian colours. This is a better spell from the visitors. Ojiciuk, tracked by McCarran. Squeezed back to Falenko. Boychenko. And Simone McGill back helping out, but the problem for Kirsty McGuinness is that there's nobody up ahead. Callahan's made a little run though. Good play from her. Just holding up, waiting for McGill. And how important is it that Northern Ireland don't sit too deep like they were in that situation? Ojiciuk. Hutton closest to her. Goal kick.
Yeah, Thomas, it's so important that they're able to put more pressure on the ball higher up the pitch. But like I said before, the 1v1s are going to be so important. And you see Rebecca Holloway here, she just does enough to force it across that she can't pick anybody out. She put it in the danger area, but thankfully there's no one back post there to be able to reap the rewards.
Particularly given the fact that it's a type of position that Abanchenko has taken up throughout her career.
It has, and you know, she can finish well. We've seen that throughout the campaign. And
Basanka. Schmachtel. Cross to Kravetsu, then looks towards Boychenko. Kimmich. As per usual, it's McFadden right on top of her. Basanka. Ojciuk. McKenna comes across, can't quite get there, but has done very well to slow up Ojciuk. Twisting and turning. McKenna still persevering, good play from the right back. As a visitor forced backwards, and I think McGill was caught there just as she got her toe to that ball. Basanka. Ojciuk. Abanchenko. No room, and it was McCarran who squeezed in between the two centre halves, and Well, Rebecca McKenna in the second half on Friday was immense going forward, always first to the ball, but we saw some of her defensive skills in that last play.
Yes, you know, I think it's going to be key tonight. You know, both the wide fullbacks are going to have to make sure 1v1s that they're not beaten, and they've both done a great job so far.
McGill just tried to peel away from the last defender. McFadden. Can she find McGuinness? Almost. Crevette's just about got it in between the passer and McGuinness. Now it's Burns. Sent off early on in the game against Belarus that Rachel Furness managed to score the winner. It was a huge result away from home. Apanchenko. Kimmich. Kanina trying to get turned, but again McFadden. She's playing a really vital role, sitting just ahead of defence.
Yeah, again, and she does that so well, even for her club, and she's got a right foot and a left foot just equally as good.
Boychenko is causing problems again. Corner kick. And for someone who wasn't involved in the first leg, Boychenko has made it very, very difficult for Holloway down the right-hand side.
Yes, and I think everything that Ukraine didn't do in the first leg, they're doing now. You know, they're moving the ball quicker, they're getting the ball wide, faster, and they're getting crosses in.
Basanka comes across to take this corner kick, and as I mentioned, Crevette's, the centre half, was actually the joint top scorer in qualifying. All from situations like this. Burns got a good hand on it. Oivichuk. Northern Ireland still pinned back. But Apanchenko can't force it towards a teammate. Has another opportunity. Schmachtel. Hutton does her job. Basanka trying to get onto her left foot. Now it's Falenko. It is lifted in, but Judy Nelson's there. Kimmich. Pass just overhit a little bit.
Yeah, just be good for Northern Ireland just to be able to push up the pitch a little bit more, get a bit more pressure on the ball, not allowing Ukraine just to have it nice and easy and being able to ping the ball around.
Halfway point of this first half, still scoreless. Neither goalkeeper has had a huge amount to do. Northern Ireland looked dangerous from a couple of corner kicks, whilst the Ukrainians have threatened down the right-hand side with Boychenko. So far, so good, though?
Yes, and again, some of the things that we did really, really well in the first half here that we just need to maybe tighten up on is winning those second balls and being able to push ourselves further up the pitch. And when we get it, you know, to make sure that we break lines and go forward.
Just to remind the Ukraine, we're in the Republic of Ireland's group in qualifying. Had two heavy defeats to the runaway leaders and winners of the group, Germany, but after defeat to the Republic of Ireland, they put together a really strong finale to the campaign, which booked their playoff spot. 5 victories in a row for them. So they should be a side full of confidence. McFadden showed real experience, the Durham player. '77th cap for her. Played in England and abroad as well, Sarah McFadden. Apanchenko. Another free kick, and Northern Ireland just have to be a little bit worried here. They've given away a lot of set pieces and decent positions. Although it didn't look like Simone McGill did too much wrong on that occasion.
It certainly didn't, but the referee has let a lot go. She's let play continue.
Basanka again given the responsibility of the set piece. There's the movement. Goalkeeper comes forward and collects again. Jackie Burns has looked very, very assured.
She has, and she's playing with a smile on her face too. Every time you get to see her, you know, she looks confident.
Late challenge. It's going to be a yellow card, I think, and well, interesting to have another look at that one because it did look to be fairly late from Basanka. Apologises straight away. It's Holloway. Oof. Let's have a look at it. Well, Basanka had certainly gone to ground. What do you think about that?
Yeah, studs up there. It's left her foot hanging too as well. You know, Rebecca's definitely feeling that one.
So Basanka, I think, realised she was in trouble straight away when she went to ground. Is that a red?
I mean, the referee was in a very, very good position to see it, and she did seem to leave her leg hanging, but
I suppose you can ask the question, was it reckless? And she certainly did look to be out of control. Hopefully Rebecca Holloway is going to be okay. Well, Kenny Shields had so many injury worries, not just this week with Rachel Furness, but in the build-up, about 9 players out who would normally be involved in the squad, and it's quite remarkable that the players who have stepped up have performed quite as well as they have, because it is a reasonably small pool of elite players that Northern have at their disposal, Gail.
yes, totally. And again, they've come in and they've totally bought into Kenny's philosophy, and you can see the belief in the girls that they've just naturally just stepped in and been able to do a fantastic job.
Well, he was successful, of course, in the men's game, had a Scottish League Cup victory with Kilmarnock and was head of youth at Tranmere, was involved in Irish League teams and also with Northern Ireland under-17 sides in the past. But as I mentioned before, 14th game in charge, 5 wins, 2 draws, 6 defeats. This one, though, would be huge. I think he described this game as potentially the highlight of his career if he was to manage Northern Ireland through to a major championship. At this stage, if things stay the same, he's certainly got plans for next summer in England, but there's a long, long way to go. Free kick is cut out, and it looks like Holloway is okay, having run that one off, and it's Kunina who wins it. Holloway wins her next duel. Boychenko just about managed to squeeze it back into the path of Panciala. A little bit of afters, but referee quickly on top of it, the Czech Republic official. There's Rebecca Holloway back on, moving freely. It's Kirsty McGuinness just having a little chat with the referee. Final warning, I suspect.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Kirsty's check's like, but she seemed to understand the referee okay.
Basanka. Oidchuk. Great battle going on between herself and McKenna. Left it in, final touch was off Chloe McCarran.
Yeah, and it was a great defensive cover there from Julie Nelson, just to see the danger and know that they were going to target the near post for the cross.
Still winning the game's first goal, driven in low by Kunina. Who'll get there first? It's Simone McGill. Great perseverance from Simone McGill.
And I think her hold-up play so far in this first half has been excellent. You know, she's a willing runner, and that's just intelligence there, just to get there in front and slow the game down, give us a free kick and be able to push her further up the pitch.
She's sacrificed herself in many ways, hasn't she?
She really has. I mean, and she's adapted her game. You know, when at Everton she plays a completely different role, and it's brilliant just for her to come home and.
Well, this is a role she does play at Everton, in front of goal, driven towards the near post and, well, collected by Sampson. But, well, that's just a glimpse of Simone McGill in a nutshell, winning the free kick at one end of the pitch and then firing it goalwards at the other. McGill. Took her goal brilliantly on Friday night.
And Thomas, having no fans in tonight, you really get to hear the communication from the team, and every time someone's on the ball, there's 2 or 3 people giving instructions, which is great to see. They're all on the same page.
McGill. There's a hold-up play you're referring to. 3 Ukrainian players around her, and eventually the numerical advantage pays off. Oichuk. McKenna right on top of her. Apanchenko, but McCarron gets her, and well, McKenna holds on to it. It's good play from the home side. 2 or 3 times it looked like they'd lost the ball, but combination of McKenna, McFadden and McGill ensure another free kick. 7 years since Simone McGill joined Everton. She's won a Player of the Year award on a couple of occasions. Became the Merseyside club's 2nd professional. Was very well thought of in English club football. Very well thought of here as well, giving her 16 goals at international level.
Yeah, she's a role model for all the girls in Middlesbrough, and I know her former coach Noel and Elaine Junk will be happy to be able to watch
Dropped
her
by
tonight.
the goalkeeper, whistle wasn't sounded, and eventually the referee awarded the free kick, but I think it was for the 2nd challenge rather than the first one. Didn't look too much wrong with that, and then, well, I think it's a follow-up from McGill that the referee felt was a foul. Sampson looks suspect under the high ball.
Yeah, and it's brilliant to see Ashley Hutton competing in there, and Simone.
You can hear Kenny Shields screaming second ball from the dugout.
Yeah, winning the ball back so quickly and winning those second balls is key, and it was key for Northern Ireland in the first leg.
Basanka. Nice touch from Panchala. Tries to force it out a little bit towards Boychenko, who wins it back, and the danger could well be on if she can pick out a teammate in the middle, but it's Kirsty McGuinness who does brilliantly, tracking back. Just when it looked like Northern Ireland were vulnerable, it was the West Belfast player who helped out her defensive colleague. Lovely touch from Panashenko. Such a graceful footballer. Was actually involved the last time that Ukraine made it to a major tournament. The only time they made it to a major tournament after a playoff victory, that was back in 2009. They've lost twice at this stage, in 2001 and 2013. Apanchenko gets turned, but defenders did their job. It was Laura Rafferty this time. Visitors starting to turn the screw a little bit. Everybody back in green. Kirsty McGuinness is furthest forward. Krivets tried to get ahead on it. There was Kimmich involved. McGuinness just prods it clear. Only as far though as Oichuk. The Ukrainian feels that they can get right back in this tie as half-time approaches. It's the commentator's curse as the free kick goes the way of Northern Ireland, and frustration for Basanka again. No real complaints there. A little coming together between Rafferty and Basanka. What'll he be thinking?
I think he'll just be thinking more of the same, maybe like to see his team push up a little bit higher. I think we heard him earlier talking about the importance of winning the second ball, so I think it's just a few wee things at half-time that he'll maybe try and tweak and change a little bit, but so far so good.
McCarron. hasn't perhaps had the influence in the game that she would have liked, having to be a little bit more disciplined this evening, McCarron, with Marissa Callahan a little bit further up the pitch?
Yes, I think so. I think, Ukraine have definitely started this game like we thought they would have started the first leg, with intent, with moving the ball. And Northern Ireland, for long periods of this game, are going to have to be able to defend and defend really well.
Because I have to point out, a lot of these Northern Ireland players haven't had a club game since December. So most of them are locally based, and they haven't been able to play week in, week out like some of the Ukrainians have. So there was that degree that there would be a rustiness about the Northern Ireland team. It didn't show on Friday. How impressed were you with that factor, the fitness that Kenny Shiels' side showed?
Yeah, I think the benefits of maybe having a large majority of the team being home base was, I think you saw the phases of play a little bit more. You saw his intent of how direct they were and stuff that he was able to do on the training ground. But definitely the match fitness or anything like that didn't come into question.
Basanka. Here comes the pressure from McGill. Nice link-up play, but Ukraine really struggling to penetrate in the final third. Goalkeeper should mop up the situation, and does. As Basanka plays it across to Falenko. Long ball dealt with by Hutton. One of her real strengths, her aerial prowess. Oivichuk back to Basanka. Oivichuk again. Come out by the combination of McCarron and Nelson. Kravets looks long towards Boychenko, got in between Holloway and Rafferty, and the combination just about managed to clear.
And again, that's what we're talking about, 1v1s, and doesn't matter how you're clearing the ball. It's important that Northern Ireland don't let them get an easy ball in, but behind where they can pick out passes.
Apanchenko just clipped him, but as far as Kunina, who has been well marshalled so far. Kimmich. Good play by Holloway, and straight away McGill's on her bike, and it was just a little bit hesitant from Holloway to play it through towards the striker. A little bit of an edge to this game now. Kravets looking to play it back to the goalkeeper, and it's McGill piling on the pressure, and in the end it results in a Northern Ireland throw-in. Good forward play by McGill.
She's definitely done her role so well in this first 40 minutes of how she's held up the ball and brought people into play. And
final 5 minutes of this first half, and you talk about the objectives. We spoke about the importance of the first 15 minutes. Getting to half-time still with the advantage would have been key for Kenny Shiels. He must be so impressed with the way his squad have gone out in the first 45 minutes and acquitted themselves.
Yes, absolutely, and they've managed the game so well. Like we've seen here, every time the ball goes out there, they're no rush, and they're linking play. They're getting their body in between the ball and the player in 1v1 situations. And they're so dangerous. They look so dangerous from every corner.
Having to do with a throw-in though this time round. Callahan. Kunina having to help out her defence, and that's exactly where Northern Ireland would want the live wire. McGill. Apanchenko straight away tries to switch it forward, but Nelson's there. Apanchenko. Neat play from Panchula, but again it's broken up. It's been a real feature of that combination around midfield, particularly Sam McFadden. Positionally has been excellent. Two Ukrainian defenders there. Callahan put the pressure on, but McCarron's on the ball. I think Apanchenko hurt herself whilst making that challenge. So the Ukrainian top scorer hobbling around. Gail, that doesn't look good from their perspective.
No, I think she just maybe got her studs caught there, or her feet seemed to stick on the ground.
McFadden finds Ovechuk. And you can hear the communication. Home side filtering back and getting organised for every set piece, and as a result, Jackie Burns, who's on the ball right now, has next to nothing to do. Not enough intensity, is it? Call from the sideline.
I think Northern Ireland just have to work a wee bit harder off the ball to get themselves, you know, opened up and on the front foot. And
cut out by Kravets. And I think the management team would take 0-0 to break.
yeah, Thomas, it's just about managing the game, and you know, getting the result is the most important thing tonight. And I know Kenny and maybe was a bit disappointed in the how we played in the last game. Maybe didn't get on the ball enough, sloppy at times, but the result is the most important thing.
Folenko. I think that's the point that Stephen Craig was making in the studio. It doesn't matter how Northern Ireland win this game, as long as they do win this game and do get through. Such a significant encounter. We could be witnessing history here at Seaview. Apanchenko. Shifted forward to Ovechuk. Apanchenko again. Lunge from Nelson, still Apanchenko. Mazy run from her. Ovechuk was trying to get the shot on goal, but once more McFadden got there. Apanchenko skidded off the edge of her boot and well wide. 2 minutes of additional time to be played, and well, it wasn't the cleanest of strikes.
It certainly wasn't, but I think the interception just a minute before that, a second before that by Sarah McFadden was key there, just to be able to clear that ball, and thankfully in the second phase there that it came to nothing.
In first half injury time, there haven't been too many highlights, but Ovechuk's hoping to create one now. Nelson tracking her and does absolutely brilliantly. Had to time that challenge to perfection. Basanka. And Nelson again, the most experienced player in the pitch, stepping up not once but twice in the latter stages of this first half. Ovechuk. Again, Nelson in the right place at the right time. Ukraine knocking at the door, but unable to work the goalkeeper. Kravets looks like she's winding up from distance, but it was going to take something spectacular from that kind of range to beat Jackie Burns.
And you have to say, Thomas, it looked like Big Julie was rolling back the years there with her pace down the line and, you know, preventing crosses. And again, we talked about it over and over again. 1v1s in this game is crucial.
Just opened up here for Ovechuk, was the right side of Nelson and used her body really well, and good challenge. And it's the final action of this first half. Northern Ireland are halfway there, scoreless at the break. Gail, what's your assessment?
I think it's a fantastic first half, a really good team performance in how they've managed the game, how they've slowed the game down, and I think Kenny will be really, really pleased with this first half.
Not too many highlights, but we're still awaiting the game's first goal here at Seaview. Northern Ireland have 1 foot in the Euros. At half-time at Seaview, it's currently Northern Ireland 0, Ukraine 0.
And that's a scoreline which would take Northern Ireland to the Euros. Shelley Kerr and Stephen Craigan have been watching with us. Shelley, give us your assessment of what was a pretty good half for Northern Ireland.
You don't want any highlights when you're one half away from getting to the Euros. You know, I thought Northern Ireland started really aggressively, obviously playing with wing backs, but I think that can be dangerous because you can sometimes run out of steam. I think Kirsty McGuinness had a lot of the ball in the first half, but she had little or no support, and it's hard. And we were just saying off air that it would be good if Northern Ireland could keep a few passes, keep a little bit of possession. There's no panic. It's 0-0, and they're doing a grand job just now. All you need to do is keep the ball a little bit better.
I think it was a bit frantic at the start. You know, lots of nervous energy. I think the players are fully aware of what's at the end of this game for them. But sometimes you can't think about that. You've got to think about the process, which is how they've been playing, the structure they've been playing. And it's a change of setup from Friday night. Friday night was a back four, and tonight's a back three or a back five. So it takes you a little while to get your bearings, understand what your role is, when you can press, when you can't. And that's why the two wing-backs of McKenna and Holloway, when they started pushing on, they almost dictate where you play on the pitch. Because if they press high, the back three go with them. If they drop deep, then the three centre-halves come with them also. So it is a lot of legwork. You know, they have to get themselves up and down. But if you'd have said at the start of the game, 0-0 at half-time, you know, Burns in goal hasn't any saves to make, you think, you know, that'll do for us.
Yeah, the manager, Kenny Shiels, said before the game he didn't want his team to play for the draw. And from the offset tonight, they did come out looking as if they came to play.
Yeah, they did. I mean, you know, early, the first 5 minutes, I think, Northern Ireland went at Ukraine. And, you know, we were saying initially, be direct. This is just a simple ball over the top. And they end up getting a corner out of it. And I can tell you one thing, the goalkeeper, Samson, for Ukraine, she's very vulnerable from cross balls. And at the two corners, we thought, you know, Northern Ireland's got a wee chance of scoring here.
But it's simplistic football. We all know Kenny Shiels wants to play the purest of football you can imagine. But the success has come, Stephen, from turning the back four, getting the ball down the side, getting your set plays. There's no point in having the physical presence that Northern Ireland have and not using it. And I think Sarah McFadden's been excellent in midfield.
She was. This was another example, and you know, Kirsty McGuinness gets on the ball, but they had midfield runners as well, and that was early in the first 10 minutes. Yeah. But after that, you know, Ukraine started to get more of the ball and put them under pressure, but it's always on. You know, I think that's McGill there gets a chance, and that's her 40 running in behind.
You almost feel a little bit sorry for her at times because she's got I think Thomas and Gale said it in commentary, Simone McGill, it's a thankless task being a Northern Ireland centre forward, irrespective of what age group or what team you play for. You know, you become isolated, you've got to make your own chances, you've got to be creative, you've got to be productive yourself, and you've got to almost sacrifice yourself sometimes. And I think she's done that very well. And she's just waiting for that chance. She had to be patient on Friday night. She waited for a moment to come along. Then she delivered with quality. And I've no doubt if you know they can give better service and put better balls in for her, she will deliver.
The problem with Simone McGill, her position, and now especially in the last 15-20 minutes, she's had to play a little bit deeper. So she has to conserve her energy as well and be efficient with it, because she right now Ukraine having more possession, she's having to play a little bit deeper.
Because Ukraine did start to get into the game and create chances of their own, Stephen.
Listen, when you play against a country who are ranked higher than you, irrespective of how their rankings are worked out, you're never going to have the game your own way. You're going to have to sacrifice some things. You're going to be under pressure a little bit. But this is where the back three come into play, because any time the ball came into the Northern Ireland box, there's always plenty of defenders. And Kenny will have thought tonight, if we can defend the 18-yard box well enough, then we'll win the game. Simple as. I always think the game's won and lost in both 18-yard boxes. And yes, they've had a little bit of success, but just look at the numbers in there and the experience and the know-how of the Northern Ireland back three.
I think Boychenko there, you know, she goes on the blind side and it's a penetrating pass in between the wing back and the centre back, and that's something when you play a back five, it's hard. And here you see Wojciech, she's probably their best player, Ukraine's best player. She can play on the left, she can play on the right. But the one thing I think Ukraine are guilty of, they take an extra touch and an extra touch. You know, it's all
more direct, do you?
Yeah, I think that playing in a game of this magnitude, you need to have an end product. So they should be more direct when they get the ball, not from a Northern Ireland perspective, right enough, but they're definitely taking too many touches, and that allows Northern Ireland to get back in, which is great.
And we saw there towards the end of the first half a couple of great pieces of defensive play by Julie Nelson, Northern Ireland's record holder of caps, 118th appearance tonight, and it showed there.
Well, it does, and it's all about anticipation. you know, as a younger defender, they always want to go to ground, they want to make contact. Whereas Julie was patient, she just went alongside her player, you know, she waited for her to take the extra touch, then she intercepted. And that's the reason why Kenny probably went with a back three. You know, that's where you're vital experience, and you have to trust her on the pitch. They can manage the game for you and make good decisions, and they certainly have in the first half.
Do you know the other thing? Jacqueline Burns hasn't had much to do in the first half, but she looks so assured and commanding in her box when the balls come in. There's been a couple of corners, and she comes out and she takes them. That's what you want your goalkeeper to do.
Should Ukraine have been down to 10 players, do you think? Should there have been a red card?
We were debating it, we were discussing and debating it. I think maybe a yellow, but it was, you know, a bit reckless, a bit dangerous, but I think it's a yellow.
Well, Shelley sat on the fence, I'm going to go for red. And because, I'll tell you why, reckless is yellow, I get that, but I just think if you're lifting your leg and your studs are, what, halfway up the shin, is that seriously endangering an opponent? I think it is. I think it's putting the opponent at risk. And any tackle now with a straight leg, it catches you anywhere in the body, you're running the risk of a red card. And you know, it is a big game. The referee has to be careful, but I think certainly that could easily have been a red card. I think it should have been.
Is it a slight concern for Northern Ireland, do you think, that albeit they had good attacking work in the first 15 minutes, they have started to drop back and back as the half has gone on, and Ukraine have obviously been able to get into their box?
I think Kenny Shiels will be really, really happy with the team performance. You know, it was never going to be a pretty game. There's so much at stake for this game, but, you know, I know that maybe perhaps they haven't attacked, obviously, more than that first 10 minutes, but defensively, they've been very well organised, and, you know, that's the foundations. If you don't concede, you're through. It's as simple as that. And I think we were talking earlier and saying the most important thing in tonight's game is doing the fundamentals well. And that starts with defending. Yeah,
but I think there's an instinct, the longer the game goes, when you know what's at stake and you know you're defending well, is to take a step back. And the problem is when the back five take a step back, you're right about Simone McGill, she has to take a step back, and then suddenly when you win the ball, you're so far from the opposition goal, it's going to take an incredible move to get yourself up there. So you have to be patient, you've got to try and bide your time, but again, the wing backs of Holloway and McKenna will determine that. And you just wonder the longer it goes, I think Thomas touched on it in commentary, they haven't played a lot of domestic football. You just wonder, does the energy level start to drop a little bit, and then you start to protect yourself even more?
You've played in lots of big defensive nights for Northern Ireland, Stephen, through the years. OK, we'll pause there for the moment, and we will cross pitch side now and hear from the Irish Football Association Chief Executive, Patrick Nelson. He's talking to Nicola.
Patrick, a tight first half, halfway there though, what are your thoughts?
Well, the girls are 45 minutes from being Northern Ireland immortals at this point. So we're all a bit nervous, but you know, we're pretty hopeful that they can carry on, they can finish the job, and we can make it to the Euros next year.
As you say, the hand of history on their shoulders, Patrick, they really are role models, these girls.
Oh, absolutely. And you can imagine the amount of girls that are going to want to play football tomorrow morning as a result of this, and every day after that. So the girls have done a tremendous job so far. Kenny's done a great job as the coach. Let's hope we can finish it off tonight.
You mentioned Kenny, as you say, he has done an outstanding job bringing this squad to this point, and what he has added to it, Patrick.
He's added a huge dose of professionalism. Kenny's the sort of guy who, you know, second best is never good enough for Kenny, and he's transmitted that to the girls. They've really taken it on. And the fact that we're here 45 minutes away from the Euros, from where we started, is an incredible achievement. And credit to the entire squad, credit to Kenny and his coaching staff.
No fans here, unfortunately, tonight, Patrick, but hopefully they will be back soon, and maybe even we'll get the girls playing at Windsor Park.
Well, we certainly hope so. We certainly hope we'll get some crowds back. Maybe it was a little bit early tonight. We could have certainly filled Seaview for this game any other night. And, you know, the girls can play wherever they want when they win tonight.
Just how do we build, Patrick, on what the girls have achieved so far and hopefully after tonight's game?
Well, it's been a great journey so far. And, you know, the girls tonight are going to be household names. They're going to be role models. They're going to be on your news bulletins. They're going to be in the papers. And every little girl in Northern Ireland is going to want to be Marissa Callaghan. They're going to want to be Rachel Furness. They're going to want to be Chloe McCarron. And that's brilliant. And we look forward to it.
These girls really are sowing the seeds for the future, Patrick. And as you say, young girls will now be looking up to these girls. Just how will the IFA support that development?
Well, we've worked hard on it so far, and we're prepared to put more time, effort and money into it in the future. We've made great strides off the field as well. We've been running a female football leaders programme for 7 years, and we're just looking forward to a boost in women's football as a result of how these girls have played in this campaign.
Off the pitch as well, Patrick, strides have been made. I've seen Cheryl Lamont here this evening, the first female on the IFA board.
Well, we've got 2 females on the IFA board now. We have Helen Kirkpatrick, but particularly Cheryl's been appointed due to her role in women's football. We think that's an important move, and we look forward to Cheryl making a huge contribution in the coming years.
And just finally, Patrick also plans for a full-time head of women's football at the IFA.
Yes, we think it's the right time. We're going to hire a director of women's football in the near future. CV's into me, if anybody is listening and wants the role. It's going to be a really exciting role. We're going to drive women's football forward, and we're looking for a great person to do that.
Fantastic, Patrick. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We've got a perfect person sitting in the studio with us tonight. Not you, Stephen, sorry.
Oh, thanks.
Shelley, how pleased are you to see the development of the women's game, particularly here in Northern Ireland?
I think it's huge. Tonight would be a huge shift in the landscape of women's football in Northern Ireland. And I think that the players deserve a lot of credit, the staff and the national governing body. It's all about resource. Whether it's human resource, financial resource, that's what women's football needs. And, 45 minutes away from achieving something really, really special. And it's not just little girls that you want to inspire, it's the whole country. And they've already done that by getting to the playoffs. So, it captivates the whole country.
I suppose it's about putting money where your mouth is as well. It needs serious investment, women's football in the country, Stephen.
Well, it does, but the best time to do that is when everybody's talking about it and everybody's enjoying watching it. Social media can be a horrible place at times, but since Friday night, the amount of good luck messages, the positive news coming out from the girls themselves, ex-players, the press, the media, written papers, it's covered in women's football. So that's the time to strike, that's the time to invest more money and to push it forward. I think Kenny Shields came in probably with grand plans, and he's delivering. And the girls are following suit. They're taking it on board. I just can only imagine that the older girls would have thought if Kenny had come in 5 years ago, and had that impact when they were a little bit younger as well, they'll be feeling a little bit jealous because thinking, I'm coming towards the end of my career and this is starting to take off. But it's great for the country, and that's the time to really go and try and push it on to the next level. When you've got people, when you've got their attention, go and deliver.
And we don't want to get too carried away, Shelley, obviously, but Northern Ireland's so close to the Euros. How will they finish this off in the second half?
You need to get more corners and put the goalkeeper under pressure because, defensively they are vulnerable, especially cross balls, not just from a dead ball, but from open play as well. And try and keep more possession. And, I'm sure that Northern Ireland will score in the second half. I've got a really positive feeling about it.
And I'm sure, obviously, there's going to have to be a massive defensive effort in this second half. You'll feel Ukraine will have to come and push and look for goals, Stephen.
Listen, it was never going to be easy. Sometimes you have to suffer, sometimes you have to absorb pressure. It's all about the outcome, Stephen. It's all about getting that result.
Stephen, Shelley, thank you very much indeed. 45 minutes stands between Northern Ireland and creating some football history. Let's hope they can do it. Back to our commentary team at Seaview.
Thank you, Stephen. Gail, it's not that long ago that Northern Ireland players had to pay to play international football for the women's side. Now, one half of football away from history. 1958, 1982, 1986 and 2016, the years when Northern Ireland made a major tournament. Will 2022 be added to that list this evening?
Let's really hope so. I mean, it's been an absolute fairy tale of a journey for the girls, and I'm not sure if you're trying to bring me down memory lane there of talking about me having to pay for trips, but let's hope that things in the landscape of Northern Ireland football will change.
No changes for either side. I think we both expected perhaps to see Korzola brought in for the Ukrainians, but they've stuck with the same 11 that started. They know their Euro dream is hanging by a thread. They must score at least twice in this second half to make it through to next summer's tournament. The top 16 sides in Europe. There were 3 playoffs taking place this evening. 48 teams took part in qualifying. And Ukraine, 25 places above Northern Ireland in the world rankings, were expected to ease through to that tournament. Hasn't gone to plan for them. Julie Nelson and her teammates had other ideas. Rafferty, who's looked very accomplished and comfortable coming into that back line.
It's probably their
heavy challenge on Wojcik.
Yeah, I was just about to say maybe just Rebecca maybe doesn't need to go in and lean in there. You know, she was facing her own goal and maybe just too much pressure on the ball, and giving away silly free kicks is not Northern Ireland's plan.
What will have been said in the Ukrainian dressing room?
I think with Northern Ireland, you know, applying so much pressure down the left, maybe they said that switch the ball a little bit faster. Maybe that's get down their right side. You've seen that early on with the big direct ball. They need to keep moving the ball quickly, but they need to get shots on goal, and that's probably the part of the game they've been missing, especially in the first 45.
Well, it was a heavy challenge on Bojchenko. Rebecca Holloway in the back of the attacker.
And sometimes that's
looks
good.
in real pain just beneath us.
Sometimes that's good, you know, for defenders just like to let the player know that you're going to be in a game again for the next 45 minutes and you're not going to get it all your own way.
Well, there's a magic spray. Bojchenko looking to get back on her feet. Holloway was in the end of a harsh challenge in the first half as well, which she was able to run off, but I'm not sure if Bojchenko's going to continue. Only goals in tonight's local football games is one apiece between Glentoran and Coleraine, scoreless in the other 2 encounters. Second against third in the Danske Bank Premiership. You can keep across all of the action on our social media channels and on the BBC Sport Northern Ireland website. Also, full audio coverage on the Sport website. But here at Seaview, it's scoreless, and if things continue that way, Northern Ireland will be heading to a major tournament. Callahan, pass over hit, and it's going to run out of play for a goal kick. Well, the Ukraine had the majority of efforts on goal in the first leg, but Jackie Burns didn't have too much to do. And that theme is continued again this evening. There's a pressure, there's a press, and there's a result. McGill wants it up ahead, so too does Callahan. A little bit of movement from McGill. It's over her head and should be dealt with by Kravets, but isn't. Simone McGill just about managed to keep it in play before eventually the ball ran over the end line. A real live wire, Simone McGill.
And just, Thomas, I'm noticing how quickly Northern Ireland are getting back into their shape and how disciplined they're going to be in this half is going to be crucial.
Bojchenko has recovered from the earlier injury. Now it's Rafford. Falinka worked back to Kravets. Panchilana. Nicely worked across to the far side. Referee playing advantage. Ukraine trying to mount their first attack of the second half, but it's Hutton who's there. Almost 230 caps between Hutton and Nelson, and you can tell the experience they've got. Kirsty McGuinness does well, but can't pick out a teammate, and then it's Laura Rafferty who's quickly across, keeps it in play. McFadden just slows things down. McCarron, good vision to find McKenna on the far side. Has had very few opportunities to help out in attack, and stopped in her tracks right in front of Kenny Shields in the Northern Ireland dugout.
Yeah, sometimes that happens when you're so left-sided. You know, the fullback on the other side doesn't get an opportunity to overlap, but Rebecca McKenna again has started the half excellent. And see Kenny encouraging the girls just to stay focused and to keep the pressure on the other end of the pitch.
Well, it was very obvious that Ukraine weren't piling bodies forward in that first half. Looked very comfortable at the back from Northern Ireland point of view. Here at the other end of the pitch, it's McGill. Slipped in towards the near post, but it took a touch and is going to result in another corner kick. And well, Shelley in studio was mentioning the importance of this set pieces. McKenna and Simone McGill linking up.
I was just about to say that, Thomas, and hopefully Shelley maybe give us a prophetic word here, and maybe we'll score off this one.
Well, it would be a great time to score right at the start of this second half. Decent ball in again. It's Hutton who attacks it again. The referee's whistle sounds and the goalkeeper's down.
Yeah, we talked about the delivery in the first half, and again, that's really whipped in by Kirsty McGuinness in the danger area. And
I think Hutton's saying, what did she do wrong? She clattered into the goalkeeper, but she's every right to go for that ball, in fairness.
Absolutely, and the amount of goals that Ashley Hutton scored off corner kicks, she's such an aerial threat.
Well, it was from a free kick rather than a corner kick. I'll just let this play continue through Callahan, but probably the most significant goal in qualifying was that injury time strike against Wales. How important, when you look back on it, could that prove to be?
Yes, and again, I think it was talked about in the studio of the 2-2, and it just led the way for when they came to Belfast, and we were able just to shut them out and really give the team belief from that it's in our own hands and we can keep winning and keep our dream alive.
It was very much the catalyst, that late goal from Ashley Hutton. Provided Northern Ireland with their first point of the campaign, and they went from strength to strength after that. And you can see the game management that Kirsty McGuinness thought about taking it quickly there and then just leaves the ball for Holloway.
It is, and you hear Sarah McFadden just yelling instructions and encouragement to the whole team every single time the ball goes out of play. And
well, it hasn't been spectacular from Northern Ireland, but they don't need it to be, as long as it remains scoreless. Hutton. Callahan closest to it, and then it's picked up by McKenna. He's muscled out of it. Good backtracking by Oychik, and then it was McKenna who was clattered. Yellow card for Oychik. Second Ukrainian yellow of the game. This is exactly what Rebecca McKenna is all about.
You can see her grit and determination, and her playing so well in that wide right role. You know, I'm sure her coach at Linfield, Phil, he's maybe thinking that you could change her this year. She's so accomplished out there.
Well, there might also be some professional clubs looking at the performance of Rebecca McKenna over this playoff and thinking that the Linfield player could well have a future in the full-time game, but right in the present, it's Marissa Callahan who may well have scored the goal that sends Northern Ireland to the Euros. It came from nothing, but Callahan persevered, and her 6th international goal is undoubtedly the most important she's ever scored.
She flicked it on herself and she just stayed, kept her eye on the ball the whole time and followed it in. And look, if you just see her here, it might not be the prettiest, but it's certainly one of the most influential.
The defender stopped, Callahan didn't, and Northern Ireland have the advantage here at Seaview. Look at what it means. The Ukraine now have a mountain to climb. There have been so few goal-scoring opportunities. But Marissa Callaghan, when given a glimmer, took full advantage for what could prove to be a hugely significant goal. A landmark goal. The Ukraine are shell-shocked. Real sense of urgency now from the visitors.
Northern Ireland just need to really be disciplined here, Thomas, and defend like they have been in the whole game.
It came from absolutely nothing. And McGill could well be in. Simone McGill has support from McGuinness, cuts inside. Thought about having an effort on goal and probably was a little bit indecisive. What a chance that was. So many gaps at the back for the Ukraine. Well, and it's a similar type of position that Kirsty McGuinness scored from before. Here's another look at the goal, though. Callaghan scoring, and the record goal scorer celebrating in the stands. There's a change from the Ukraine, and it's Kunina who makes way. On comes Kozlova. So Kunina didn't have the type of influence in the game that she had in the first leg, but the Ukraine need goals, and as this match continues, Northern Ireland players will be starting to dream.
And just as the game opens up here, as Ukraine keep having to throw bodies forward, Northern Ireland are going to get more chances here on the counter-attack. And you see Marissa again, you know, making the third man run, and with intent, if they move the ball quickly, I think they'll get in more.
There was so much pressure in this team. The expectation after that surprise victory in the Ukraine, but haven't they delivered? It's been all Northern Ireland since a goal, playing with a lot more freedom. And so far, the Ukraine just haven't had any answers.
They really haven't, you know, they've tried to move the ball quickly, but they haven't been able to break lines, they haven't been able to get in behind Northern Ireland. They've defended so well in all situations, collectively as a team and 1v1. And again, it's the balance that they have right now of when to defend, when to drop in is fantastic.
Are you surprised just how passive they've been?
I probably, you know, from all the clips and the highlights that we've seen of Ukraine in the build-up, yes, I am. You know, that I would have thought that, especially in the first leg, being at home, they would have been a wee bit more in the front foot, but they might have taken Northern Ireland for granted, and I don't want to take anything away from our girls and Kenny's game plan. He's executed, they've executed excellently.
Holloway reads it well to the goal scorer, Callaghan. McGill loses out. But up steps Julie Nelson, who has not put a foot wrong the whole game. Jackie Clark was a little bit casual there, but got it away. As Callaghan again goes in the chase. This time it is going to, well, I thought it was going to run through to the goalkeeper, but Callaghan's pressure ensured she had to play it out with her feet. And there's a Ukrainian player down in the box, I think it's Ovchenko. Sorry, Ovechuk. Well, that's an accidental from Jackie Clark, just connected with Ovechuk as sorry, Jackie Burns as she cleared. Well, the Northern Ireland players can take a breath. They have 1 foot at next summer's European Championships. The top 16 sides in Europe, in England next summer. And just a reminder, when Northern Ireland started this qualifying campaign, they were ranked 32nd of the 48 teams. It has been a fairy tale campaign, and they are almost there. What an achievement it would be to make it to a major tournament against such adversity, without so many of their top players. Callahan loses out this time. Boychenko. Pansula. And out comes Burns. Pressure starting to come from the Ukrainians, but Northern Ireland have looked very assured in defence. McGill holds it up and it finds McKenna. 2 or 3 players making their way into the middle. Good footwork from McCarran. This is McKenna, lovely build-up play down the right-hand side. No free kick, says the referee. Plenty had committed themselves forward as now it's Ukraine on the counter-attack. Bodies filter back though, and McKenna wins it again. Tigerish attitude from the 20-year-old. What a birthday it could prove to be for her. McGuinness. An offside flag goes up.
I know Stephen had talked about it at half-time in the studio there, but the work rate of
Just hold that thought, because Simone McGill's on the ball. McGuinness making her way into the danger area, so too is Marissa Callahan. Held up though by McGill, who's managed to do that on so many occasions, has been isolated but recycled it to a teammate. Given away cheaply though. Aspachenko. Hutton came across, and well, that's all about taking control, showing your experience, no nonsense defending from Hutton. I'm sure as this match goes on, we'll reflect on what it would mean for the players, but in particular, the duo of Hutton and Nelson, who've been there collectively for about, I think, 31 years of international football they've played.
Yeah, you're making them sound very, very old, but it's so true, you know what I mean? Through all the tough times of the Algarve Cups, the Cyprus Cups, you know, where we were, you know, just invited because it was an invitational tournament. You know, the fact to go to a major tournament because you've earned it is just something so special for them, and you know they'll be fully focused.
Defending to do though now, flags up. It wouldn't have counted, but we also have to remember that the women's team was disbanded for a couple of years as well. And there was a fight to get back to even play international football. The likes of Alfie Wiley, who put in such good work behind the scenes. Kenny Shields, obviously now the international boss as well. It's been a real effort over a number of years to get to this point.
Yes, on and off the pitch, you know, I think of all those people that served in committees, you know, the NIWFA, you know, the steering groups for strategies, you know, all that work that nobody really knows about to change the landscape of women's football. And not to mention, I know you mentioned Alfie, and he's here this evening, which is absolutely fantastic, and he'll be so proud. But the likes of Sarah Booth, who's now at FIFA, you know, people that's made a real difference to the football that's being played in Northern Ireland for girls and women.
This will mean a lot to a lot of people. The job isn't done quite yet, but you get the impression that Northern Ireland are looking very, very comfortable. Cravets went down. I'm not sure if her studs got stuck in the surface or what exactly happened. It didn't appear to be a challenge. Yeah, it was just a Ankle locked here.
And Thomas, one of the things that we discussed, especially in the first leg, of how in those key moments of the game, the last 10 minutes of the first half, the last 10 minutes of the second half, how good Northern Ireland have been. And again, I think we're seeing it here of the pressure they're putting Ukraine under.
That'll look painful. Here's another look at this famous goal, what could prove to be vital. Well, Stephen Davis has scored plenty of goals in the number 8 jersey. Marissa Callahan has stepped up with a big one, and look at what it means to the bench. And look at what it means for those players. Still one apiece between Coleraine and Glentoran. Dean Shields, who's assistant, of course, won't be that pleased with the game so far between Portadown and Dungannon Swifts there. 1-0 down in that encounter, and a scoreless in tonight's other game. But here at Seaview, Northern Ireland lead 1-0 tonight, 3-1 on aggregate. Hoping to make it to a major tournament for the first time ever. Look how deep Aspenyenko's playing. Almost as a makeshift centre half as Corvettes receives attention.
Yeah, Northern Ireland have done such a good job at to shepherd them all inside to where they have the numbers. And Ukraine are falling into the trap and are really struggling just to get out.
Aspenyenko. Ukraine preparing to make another substitution. Boyschenko. Back to their record goal scorer. Wants a little bit of movement up ahead. Schmachto. Falenko. Good press in Northern Ireland. When Kenny Shields took over, first game in qualifiers, Northern Ireland tried to play out from the back against Norway. It didn't work. 6-0 defeat, and there were a lot of question marks. Can a Northern Ireland side play this way? But are we starting to see the rewards now?
Yeah, I think 18 months on, you're starting to see the style that Kenny really wants to implement, and it's the bravery of the girls that's the real difference for me. You know, they have a belief in the system that Kenny's implemented, and you're really seeing the fruition of it, because they're positive on the ball. They believe in each other when they give each other the ball, that they take care of it, and the style of playing is totally suiting them.
Kravchuk's on. Started the first leg. Here is Callahan still pushing forward, winning the throw-in. Corvettes is still receiving attention. I think she's the player who's made way, so Apanchenko, I think, is going to play the remainder of this game as a centre half, which says a lot for her versatility. Disappointing for Corvettes, who's hobbling around the pitch here at Seaview. Can't underestimate the significance of this game. Northern Ireland were completely up against it, the lowest ranked team in the playoffs. Few gave them a hope. The Ukraine were actually first of all drawn against Russia, and then it was redrawn by UEFA because those two countries weren't able to play one another. And there was a feeling within the Northern Ireland camp, Gail, that this was the game that they wanted.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, they've just seen that this was a game that, you know, that the style of play that Ukraine played, you know, that Northern Ireland could really expose in certain areas, and we're seeing that.
Well, the Ukrainians simply can't find a way out of their own half. McFadden got her toe to it. I think Boychenko is unable to continue. She signalled to the bench to say that she needs to be replaced. 20 minutes remaining. Northern Ireland are 20 minutes away from a major tournament. 20 minutes away from joining the top 16 sides in Europe next summer in England. Boychenko, well, she told the bench she wanted off a few seconds before that, but she's managed to win a free kick, and the Ukraine need to score a goal soon. There's Kravets. It is her ankle. She's brought away in a stretcher. Basenka lifted in. And a follow-up from Oivchuk, always rising.
Yeah, Thomas, every time you talk about the top 16 teams in Europe, you know, going to be next year in England playing in the Euros, and the possibility of Northern Ireland being one of them, I pinch myself just to think about it, knowing that our ranking and knowing that the journey that the girls have been on it's nothing short than phenomenal.
Northern Ireland have won 5 of their last 6 games. Only defeat was in that friendly against England. It's been a fantastic run, and well, it doesn't look like it's going to show any signs of ending now. Simone McGill goes in chase, all alone against 4 Ukrainian defenders. Rafferty concedes a free kick for the challenge, and Ovichuk. Crucial period of the game. Northern Ireland trying to keep the Ukrainians scoreless. Trying to ensure there's no grand finale here as the free kick comes in. Not for the first time, it's a Northern Ireland player who gets her head to it first. Basanka plays it forward. Hutton, though, committed in the challenge. The defending's been immense, hasn't it? I mean, we can talk about experience. We can talk about the fact that Hutton and Nelson in particular are very impressive in the air, but on the deck as well. The likes of McKenna and Rafferty have done everything that's been asked of them.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, you talked about the foundations that was been laid before that, and you know, Alfie Riley has to take great credit for that, and you know, he's prepared the girls over the years, and he's made such a difference in the women's football. And we did so many sessions of how to defend as a team and how to defend individually, and we're really seeing that tonight.
Away by Jackie Burns. The goal scorer Callahan putting the pressure on. Northern Ireland have been so unfortunate with injuries, the likes of Lauren Wade, Demi Vance, Rachel Furness and a number of others. Abby McGee not involved this evening. Some of them are fortunate to be here, witnessing this match, witnessing potentially this historic moment. Boychenko eventually makes her way off the pitch. Malakova introduced, but time is running out for the Ukraine.
Yeah, you might think it could be their last roll of the dice there, just to get another fresh pair of legs on, see if they can make a difference.
McFadden. McGuinness back helping out. Scored those 2 crucial goals against Belarus, and well, Jackie Burns, particularly with the ball at feet, very, very comfortable. How big an asset is that?
Yes, massively, and again, she's been a goalkeeper that's, you know, come through the setup, you know, through all the age bands, and she's really just totally made her mark as the #1 goalkeeper for Northern Ireland.
Made her debut as a teenager. 16-year-old actually against the Netherlands, Jackie Burns. Folenko. Oyvichuk muscled out of it by Rebecca Holloway. Very impressive on the left side of that defence. Back in again. Towards Oyvichuk. Nowhere to go though, and McFadden hammers it clear. Everybody except the goalkeeper is deep inside the Northern Ireland half. Kimmich. Basanka charging through. Can't cut it back to a teammate though. Couple of challenges flying in. Basanka could well have gone down, but persevered and has to make do with the corner kick. It's last chance saloon stuff for the Ukraine. They know they need to score 3. McKenna tried to get it out of play, and I think 2 Ukrainians actually got in each other's way. Northern Ireland will remain organised, and eventually when the cross comes in, Burns got a good fist to it. Folenko happy enough to let it drift out of play. Hutton's underneath it. Away by McGill. Kravchuk. One of the substitutes. Folenko on the overlap. Decent ball in. Brilliantly clean.
I think you've
Probably
said
the best move that the Ukraine have managed this evening.
yeah, and just like you've said, but there was never no doubt that Jackie was coming, you know, to claim that in and to get it. It was obvious, and she's just been so confident back there and accomplished. Nothing seems to have fazed her tonight.
Free kick is given against Kirsty McGuinness. Everybody here, see if you looking at their watches. Only are a few dignitaries here. Members of the IFA board and some of the other squad members, but every single second seems like an eternity. Northern Ireland have waited 161 games for this opportunity. They can't quite savour it yet though. Folenko. McGill used her body really well, but referee, let's play continue. Basanka. Ponderous on the ball, and the counter-attack could be on. It's McCarron. 2 on 2 at the back. Still McCarron. McGill wants it in the middle. It's towards McGill, just can't get there. Brilliant counter-attacking play from McCarron. And how far away was McGill from this cross? Weary legs at the back from the visitors.
It's just marvellous to see that again Northern Ireland are still attacking. You know, the smart thing might have been just to go to the corner there, maybe kill the game, but you know, Simone McGill wants to score another goal, and the run that she made there was just fantastic.
McKenna. Ball threaded through, and well, there were question marks in regard to would Kenny Shields set up a side for a draw. He hasn't.
No.
That's gutsy.
I think it shows Thomas's bravery from the start of the campaign till the end. You know that he wants the girls to be brave on the ball. He wants to be, you know, to attack and go forward, and we've seen that. you know, they've taken a few heavy defeats early on, and they seem to learn from it. They took a heavy defeat against England, but it didn't hamper their confidence. And here we are again, you know, minutes away from making history.
Well, we're into the last 10 minutes here. Northern Ireland have the advantage on the night and have the advantage over the two legs. What a challenge from McFadden. Timed it perfectly, and it shifted across to McGillott Field, but that tackle really epitomises what Northern Ireland have been about this evening. Right on the edge of our penalty area. It was Pantasula winding up, but McFadden launched herself at the midfielder.
And again, I think Stephen Craigan, you know, hinted at it early on, and at the half-time, you know, the work that she does and what she gives the team is just absolutely phenomenal, and you can see it there. You know, she puts her body on the line.
Corner kick though, makes its way in. Ovichuk closest to it. Folenko pumps it in once more, but Burns has been outstanding. Apologies to Jackie Burns. I've called her Jackie Clark a couple of times. I don't even know a Jackie Clark, but Burns has certainly been immense. So apologies to Jackie. I'm sure she won't care as long as she is heading to a major tournament next summer.
She's maybe thinking that's her future spouse or something. You're
Well,
giving. Shelley was giving prophetic words at half time. Now you.
Good play in the left-hand side by Malikova. It's another set piece. Another chance for Jackie Burns just to organise that back line. As the minutes count down, the fairy tale of the Euros grows ever closer. Back in again. This time it's the Ukraine to get their head onto it, but Julie Nelson gets it away. Fizzers leaving themselves increasingly exposed at the back, and all it's going to take is one counter-attack from Northern Ireland to cause problems, but right now they've got some defending to do. Desperation from the Ukraine. They need a goal. Challenge right in the edge of the area. Play continues, and Ovichuk fires it over the top. It was right on the edge of the box, the challenge.
Yeah, and the referee definitely had a wee look at that there.
Was very well positioned. Was this inside? No, it wasn't from McKenna. Yeah, the backroom team not happy with that decision. But the attack was still evolving, and Ukraine were in a good position. I'm not going to get presumptuous, Gail, but describe the significance of this result if it stays the same.
Well, I think it really is hard to put into words what it's going to mean for our country as a whole. You know, we just see Kirsty McGuinness just leaving the pitch, and the introduction of Sam Kelly, and, you know, kind of using the squad well there. But no, it's going to change the landscape of football as we know it in this country. You know, to have a women's team to be represented at the Euros, and what it's going to mean. I know Patrick had said it during his interview, if these girls are going to be role models, they're going to be famous. You know, people are going to be want to be them. It's going to inspire the next generation, and all those things are true. And we've seen it in 2016. But we really, really hope that the whole of the country gets behind the girls. We go on a big road trip over to England, and they're well supported.
They've been dubbed the game changers. What still needs to change though?
Lots of things still need to change in our country. You know, we're making strides, and you know, we did launch a new strategy just 2 years ago. That it's putting better structures in place for young girls and leagues to play. It's also trying to strengthen our NIFL league and our NIWFA league as well. But again, all those things need more support, and they need more resources put into them.
how proud a night is this, not just for this squad of players, not just for the injured players who may be watching on, but for every single player who's represented Northern Ireland down through the years.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. The amount of text messages I'm sure the girls have had and that I've had of the pioneers that have gone before us, you know, that have paved the way when football for girls certainly wasn't cool, or it wasn't well respected even to play. For the women that had no teams to play on, that had to play in boys' leagues and boys' teams, you know, they're all going to be cheering the girls on, and probably, like you said a little bit before, maybe wish that they were 10 years younger or 20 years younger, but so proud of what this team has achieved.
Kenny's looking at his watch. Everyone inside Seaview's looking at their watch. They don't have the benefit of the graphic in the top left-hand corner of your screen. But there are less than 4 minutes remaining. It's been a journey, a fairy tale journey for Northern Ireland that just keeps getting better and better. And surely that's a red card. Gotta be, has to be for the midfielder. It was Sarah McFadden pushing forward, and a cynical challenge from Pansuliana took out McFadden.
I really did fancy Sarah McFadden to get in on goal there. You know, she used to be a centre forward, Thomas. You know, that's where she started her career. I know all her friends back in America, you know, she played at Southern Miss, and she scored many of a goal there.
It's the skipper, the goal scorer, the hero, Marissa Callaghan, standing over this ball. Could this be the icing on the cake? 4 in the wall. Callaghan standing over it as the referee just pushes the wall back. Northern Ireland will be happy with the seconds ticking down. Up steps Callaghan. Just over the top.
I'm sure Kirsty McGuinness is thinking, Kenny, you took me off 2 minutes too early. That's normally her remit there.
I think it's Nadine Colwell who's about to be introduced for the last couple of minutes. As Hutton clears, Callaghan, McGill, Sam Kelly wants it at the back post. Will it make it that far? Not quite. McKenna still full of running. Northern Ireland looking more and more confident as this game goes on. It's McKenna. Can she find a teammate? Almost. It's a corner kick. This is a goal that you're going to see time after time for the next 13 or 14 months in the build-up to the European Championship. It's a strike that secures Northern Ireland's place there. Marissa Callaghan, the captain. Well, you can see the reaction from the players inside Seaview. Standing ovation for Callaghan. The star on a famous night. Colwell's going to enjoy the last couple of minutes. Played a key part in the first leg. And there is a smile from Kenny Shields. Sarah McFadden takes over the armband. It's been a night when the pressure was on Northern Ireland, but they have delivered in abundance. There will be 6 minutes of additional time, so we're a little bit premature, but didn't feel like there have been that many stoppages in this second half. And
there'll be time enough for Sam Kelly to make an impact here.
Well, The Ukraine have offered so little in the final third, not just this evening, but also on Friday night. Northern Ireland look the more likely team to score.
You hear Coach Rachel there giving instructions from the sidelines. Just fantastic to hear. Just goes to show you how much it means to her.
The ball in the right area of the pitch from Northern Ireland's point of view. Up steps Nelson. What a night for her, having given so much. You think back to her debut in 2004, over 17 years ago. This, the proudest moment. Holloway flies in. Kelly. Falenko. Under pressure from Kelly. Determined to make an impact. McFadden. Kelly. Kelly.
Again, just managing the game so well. Sam Kelly, just walking to take the corner, but just as what you were saying earlier, Thomas, the likes of Marissa and Julie Nelson and Ashley Hutton, who shared, plenty of platforms with the likes of Kate Mullen, with Caroline O'Hanlon, and those game changers in their sports of Ulster hockey and Ireland hockey and Northern Ireland netball, and now the chance that Northern Ireland to be history makers in their own right to go to a major tournament is fantastic.
Is that probably the wider picture? This isn't just a hugely significant occasion for Northern Ireland women's football, but for Northern Ireland women's sport in general. Live on television, the spotlight was on them tonight, and having these players delivered and seized that opportunity.
Yes, because we've been inspired so many times with the likes of Katie Taylor in the boxing. Like I said, talking to the likes of Kate, time and time again to talk about her journey with the Ireland hockey team, and now our girls have done exactly the same thing.
The adage is, if you can't see it, you can't be it. How many girls may well tomorrow go out and play football, having never done it before?
Yes, again, to be visible is the key for this, and you talked about it before. We know that we need to have more resources in the women's game, that we need to strengthen the structures, but to have the visibility is just priceless.
It has been a remarkable journey from the start of qualifying. Few give Northern Ireland any hope of qualifying. Back-to-back defeats against Norway, heavily, 6-0 on both occasions. But since that, there's been a real resolve about this squad. A last gasp draw against Wales was a catalyst. They've built on it, and since then it's got better and better. Tonight being the culmination. Ovechuk looks to the skies. That was a big opportunity, but you would have thought at this stage it would be little more than consolation.
Yeah, she's a little bit frustrated about that one. She was definitely free at the back post.
Finnegan about to make her way onto the pitch. It's Sarah McFadden who's going to take all the time in the world, savour and enjoy this moment. She has earned it. Over the two legs has been absolutely immense. Tony Lee Finnegan, a teenager, one of the youngest members of the squad, comes on. And that's the future. You can see the age profile of this squad. A number of teenagers have been introduced. The future of the game here. And what a future it is. Kelly, another one of those youngsters, has a go, always rising. Ukraine give it away at the back. Is this the icing on the cake? Caldwell! Sometimes dreams do come true. Northern Ireland are heading to the Euros. There is the icing on the cake, Gail.
Wow.
Look at the reaction of Rachel Furness.
Absolutely unbelievable. What composure for Nadine to take that wee extra touch and just to tuck the ball away. And again, great work by Simone McGill. You know, they haven't stopped. You know, they were hungry. I said it before when Sam was introduced, you know, she'll fancy herself a goal. And there it is, that wee extra touch she took, and she just slotted it home. She might not get an easier one than that, but that was absolutely fantastic pressure by Simone McGill.
The fairy tale continues, and it's moving on to the Euros.
And Thomas, you have to say, Northern Ireland have been worthy of it. There's really been only one team with the right game plan, and yes, they might have had to soak up a little bit of pressure, but there we are.
The game changers are history makers. They are the scenes and the pictures that will be in the back pages tomorrow on social media right now. Nobody gave them a hope, but Kenny Shields and his squad have booked their place at a major tournament.
And you can just see what it means for the likes of Julie Nelson and Ashley Hutton just embracing there, you know, and Rachel Furness as well. You know, the tears are coming because it means so much of the journey they've been on in their whole career. You know, we talked about it. We talked about when the Euros, about going on a trip, and now these girls are going to get to live the experience and be there in their own right. Not invitational, but because they've earned it, and it's just absolutely unbelievable.
One small step for this team, one giant leap for women's football here. They'll be alongside Europe's elite next summer in England. And look at what it means. Some of the injured squad members supporting this evening, joining the party. They played their part. And Gail, in advance, we could maybe dream about how significant it is. Now that that dream has become reality, what does this mean for everyone involved in the game here?
I mean, it's just, it's incredible, you know, really words. It's tough to find the right words of, you know, people that's been part of Northern Ireland women's football for years and years. You think of the people that's championed them, you know, that, like I talked about it before, the ones that have sat on those committees, you know, to change the landscape of the women's game. You know, the players, the pioneers before, they started playing football, then it stopped, there was no international football, then it restarted again, and again, it just goes to show that dreams do come true, and when you put the hard work in and you believe, and like Kenny's done that, and Dean as well, his whole coaching staff, they had a philosophy, they had a game plan, and they've executed it.
Fittingly, in Euro 2016 in Lyon, Gareth McCauley and Niall McGinn give Northern Ireland a 2-0 victory. It was a game that will be remembered for years, just like this one. Marissa Callahan and Nadine Caldwell is a hero this time round as history repeats itself. This is a party that is going to continue all the way until next summer. Hugs all round. Gail, sum up what those players will be feeling right now.
Well, you can see already, there's tears, there's excitement, there's yelling and there's screaming, and it just goes to show you, you know, when the whole team ran over to the players that were injured, that couldn't make it, that's what this team is about. This team is about unity, this team is about working together, and Kenny's created that family-like atmosphere, and full credit to him and to his coaching staff and to the belief he's shown this group.
In 2016, it was the Kings of Lyon. Tonight, we're introducing you to the Queens of Seaview. They've made history. Northern Ireland are heading to the Euros. They've earned this moment. This could well change everything for the sport here. The manager described this as a highlight, potentially, of his long managerial career. Embraced by Laura Rafferty. The final score here at Seaview is Northern Ireland 2, the Ukraine 0.
Well, what a fabulous performance, what an emotional occasion. Shelley Kerr, Stephen Craigan, what a significant moment for women's football in Northern Ireland.
The scenes are absolutely incredible, and I have to say it was fully deserved. Once Northern Ireland got that first goal, their starting positions tactically, they were just immense, and not just tonight, but over the two legs. And it's going to be life-changing. Commentary team Gail was alluding to the fact that young girls are going to be excited about playing football. But I'll tell you, if you're in this squad or if you're an injured player, you'll want to go out and train tomorrow because you want to be at that Euros.
I think it's a monumental achievement, and how the girls still have energy to jump about and sing after the effort they put in, Stephen, is incredible. And I think, to try and dissect the game now is difficult, but what I would say is their fitness levels, considering a lot of those girls haven't played a lot of football, shows their dedication, their professionalism, and their appetite and hunger for the game. When you play against top-class opposition, and Ukraine are ranked a lot higher than Northern Ireland, you close that gap by your desire, by your willingness, by everything you expect from a Northern Ireland team, heart and spirit and determination, and I have to say, lots of quality. It was a joy to watch.
And thoroughly deserve it on the night, but that's a sixth competitive win in a row for Northern Ireland as well.
Yeah, they've been consistent, and they're very, very difficult to play against. Speaking from own experience, when I was Scotland manager, they were difficult to play against, but what they've got is, Stephen mentioned, their fitness levels have improved, but tactically, they're well switched on. They're well switched on to the game plan, and technically, they executed it fantastically well. But it's just, they've got heart, they've got desire, they've got football intelligence, they manage the game properly, and you can see how much it means to them to represent their country.
These obviously are memories that will last a lifetime, but it's what's ahead now is even more exciting, Stephen. Into the finals of the Euros with teams like Denmark, England, France, Germany, Italy, the holders, Netherlands, Spain. I mean, what a journey lies ahead.
Well, I think the girls themselves tomorrow morning when they wake up and realise that it will feel like a dream to them, but that quality of opposition is a little bit frightening and intimidating as well. But they've got over a year now to prepare for it. They know the levels they have to get to. With Kenny in charge, you can see the improvement. It's been dramatic, let's be honest. I think it's one of the biggest success stories in Northern Ireland sport ever. That's how big it is, considering where these girls were and where they've got to.
Stephen, with less investment than other nations as well. They've had less investment, so with more investment, who knows what they can go on.
And there's more to come. You just get a sense there's more to come when you look at the likes of Megan Bell and Demi Vance and Lauren Wade, who weren't involved. They suddenly make the pool of players just that little bit stronger, that little bit better. And every young girl now around the age of 17, 18 will thinking, if I can get myself into a first team, I've got a chance of going to the Euros.
OK, well, let's get some reaction now. Nicola McCarthy is with one of tonight's goal scorers.
I am indeed, Stephen. I'm with Nadine Colwell. Nadine, you are going to the Euros. How does that feel?
Absolute dream come true. We really can't believe it. There's no words to describe it. But behind the scenes, the girls have done absolutely amazing preparation. The coaching staff's been unbelievable, and credit goes to them too. Without Kenny and the staff, it wouldn't have been possible.
This has been a long journey. You have defied the odds. You've got to this point. I mean, what an achievement is this for all of the players involved in this squad?
Yeah, it's unbelievable for the country, and there's going to be a ripple effect for years to come with us qualifying for the Euros. So it's absolutely unbelievable, and women's football in Northern Ireland can push on from here on in.
It certainly can, and to come off the bench tonight and score later on, is that just sums up this squad really?
Yeah, everyone's chipping in. I'm getting a bit of stick from the girls, but they were unbelievable and they did all the hard work, and Simone really put the defender under pressure, and I got the goal surprisingly, but I'll take it.
You mentioned what this will do for women's football in this country, Nadine. Just can you put that into words?
There's no words, but I would just say to any young girl watching tonight, I know the whole country was behind us, and dreams really do come true.
And for
Kenny, there's no words. Magnificent, unbelievable. there's really no words for Kenny and the coaching staff.
And for the captain of this side tonight, Marissa Callaghan, I think we're going to speak to her shortly. And for her to score as well, what does that mean?
Captain, fantastic. She leads by example, and anyone that's playing football, she's a real role model as well as the rest of the girls in this squad.
Could you ever have imagined you'd be going to a major finals?
No. Honestly, no. But when we started this campaign, the dream was really alive from when we got to the playoff. And, you know, when we were playing these two games, you know, the belief in the camp was unbelievable. So,
the belief in the camp, you know, the spirit in the camp. We've just seen the celebrations of the girls who are out injured as well. I mean, the spirit in this team is just palpable.
Yeah. You know, we really had a bit of bad luck. You know the girls that were injured the whole way through. So when they're all back and we're full strength, you know, this squad can go on and do unbelievable things.
You're going to Euros.
We're going to the Euros.
The top 16 teams in Europe. You're there. Congratulations, Tino.
Just how significant has Kenny Shiels, the manager, been in putting this whole jigsaw together?
Listen, Kenny will get a lot of plaudits, of course he will. You know, I know Gail in commentary spoke about Alfie Wiley, who's done the hard yards over the years. But it just needed to freshen up, someone to come in with a fresh idea, a fresh plan. And Kenny believes in himself. You know, Kenny's a very self-confident man. And that comes across to his players. And you can talk about instilling belief. He instilled the style of play. You know, he wanted them to go and express themselves. But the only way to build belief, I said earlier, is by results. And results have snowballed, and you can see momentum. And when you get a team of any age, and there's momentum behind them, they're hard to stop. And Kenny's steering the ship, but these girls are putting in so much work, so much effort, and they've bought into what he's telling them.
And to win it tonight without their record goal scorer as well, Rachel Furness, who looks like she could have played the way she's dancing on her crutches tonight. Just be careful.
Well, it shows you that they've got depth in their squad, and the players that come in are well versed on the game plan as well. And you know, I thought tonight, and over the two legs, I thought tactically they've been fantastic. And there's a real team togetherness, and you can see it doesn't matter who plays. You know, whoever comes in sticks to their task. And I want to mention Simone McGill, because for that second goal, at that time of the game, she's still running, putting pressure on defenders, and she showed her experience tonight as well.
And one other person who showed the experience, of course, was the captain, Marissa Callaghan. She's talking to Nicola.
Yes, Stephen, no shortage of experience. Marissa Callaghan, captain of this side. You're going to the Euros. How does that sound?
I think I'm a bit shell-shocked, to be honest, but you know what? Ukraine didn't stand a chance against us because we believed in ourselves and we believed that we would be here. Kenny and his team came in 18 months ago and they instilled this tremendous belief in us, and they've made us into an amazing team, and look what we've done. We battled so hard, as you can hear in the background. I'm missing it all, but yeah, the team gave everything, and it was so hard out there, and we had to find something deep within us to fight. But we done it, and here we are going to the Euros next year. Unreal.
It is unreal, Marissa, and another fantastic performance, as you say, from the back to the front. It was solid.
Absolutely. I mean, we have outstanding talent in our team, and especially in our defenders. Big Mac in there, winning all the challenges. Chloe McCarran, quality on the ball. Simone working hard. I mean, every single person done a shift, and do you know what? As I said before, they didn't stand a chance because we knew that this was going to end this way.
And how apt that you scored tonight as well. I mean, that must just be icing on the cake.
Yeah, do you know what? I just had a feeling today. I had a feeling all day. I've wrote my wee son's name on my arm, and I said when it happens, I'm going to give him a kiss, and it did. And I just knew it was going to happen. And yeah, it's a dream come true. Like, you don't understand. What an amazement moment, and I'm shell-shocked.
And you mentioned your son, your family, your partner, Marissa, and unfortunately, families, friends couldn't be here tonight, but I know they're watching at home and have been supporting you girls the whole way.
Yeah, they've been amazing. My family, my friends, my wee son, my mum. Like, I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for her. I love her so much, and I'm just so happy for the team. And yeah, we're going to the Euros next year.
What does it mean for women's football, Marissa? You have dedicated a lot of your life to football in this country. What does it mean for women's football in Northern Ireland?
Unbelievable. Do you know what? Everything's just happened the way it was supposed to, and I really believed that it was written in the stars for us tonight. And all the young girls watching this, dream of wearing the green shirt, because it will be the most amazing time you'll ever have.
And you're going to wear it for a good bit longer?
Yeah, we're going to the Euros. Come on.
And we'll let you be serenaded, Marissa. Back to you, Stephen.
And we'll hear from the Northern Ireland manager, Kenny Shiels, in just a moment. What great inspirational words from the Northern Ireland captain tonight.
It's authentic. It's raw emotion. You know, some of those girls, Marissa in particular, travelled all over the world, played in games knowing they were probably going to lose heavily, but you still had to get yourself up for it. You still had to train for it. You maybe had no hope. You were losing games. It's demotivating. And that's why nights like tonight become even more special. All those sacrifices, the hard days, the long nights, worth it, Stephen, when that happens.
And we could obviously see what it means. We could hear with Marissa what it means as well. And to score a goal on the night as well. I mean, the skipper leading by example.
I just love the interview. Northern Ireland should put that on repeat and play it every day for the next 2 months.
They didn't stand a chance.
Didn't stand a chance. Absolutely love it. And so humble as well. But, you know, we spoke about this at half-time. It's a free kick, set play. The goalkeeper comes out, makes a mistake, but she's brave. She's brave. A lot of players wouldn't go in for that. She's brave, and she deserved the goal again because she worked hard. She showed football intelligence. But you know what you see, it's the second phase. She gets the header. She doesn't stop. A lot of players would have stopped. She keeps on going and gets the goal.
It boils down to desire. She wanted to get in the end of that. She had to be careful because she had to be wary of how high her foot went. Then she gets a little bit of luck. You know, and Northern Ireland didn't just win this over 2-tie, 4-1. I mean, that is an incredible result against a team ranked 24th in the world. And all the other 4 nations in the playoffs, Portugal, Switzerland, Czech Republic, Russia, they all wanted Northern Ireland. They all thought it would be an easy passage through. And tonight they showed a lot of grit and determination, application. And then that's a little bit of luck you need. And you still have to have composure. Marissa still has to have composure, and she rolled the ball into the net.
Keeps her eye on the ball all the time, you know, it's up in the air a little bit, and she was so brave to do it, but what an interview.
OK, well, let's hear from the man of the moment. Kenny Shiels is with Nicola.
Kenny, you've created history. You've done it. Can you put into words how you're feeling?
Unbelievable. I look at my staff and grown men crying over there, nearly in bits myself, but you know, it's down to the girls at the end of the day. And it was when I come in 2019, the girls were traumatic, in bits, in pieces, and I was a new face. I might have helped a wee bit, but they were self-driven, and they took it on. And you have to take it in its context. And we look at Rory McIlroy, what he has done for Northern Ireland, and you look at Steve Davis, what he has done for Northern Ireland as teams. This here, far and away, is the best ever sporting achievement for Northern Ireland, for the UK actually, if you put it in its context. Because these are amateur players, 16 of the panel play in the Irish League for Glentoran, for Linfield, for Cliftonville, and for Crusaders, and I'm so grateful to those clubs. But they're playing against people who are playing for Reims and all the top teams in Europe. And Barcelona players, they've come the campaign, they had to play against Barcelona players, Manchester City players, Arsenal players. Incredible what they've achieved. Incredible.
And it was such a convincing performance tonight as it was away in Ukraine, Kenny. You know, just the girls totally stood up to the mark. As Marissa said, Ukraine didn't stand a chance.
I know. I felt sorry for them at the end, but, you know, our girls, I was worried today, I was nervous. I went to my room and I come back down again, and I couldn't get rid of the nerves. As soon as I got here on the pitch, I was so comfortable. I don't know what weird way that was happening, but I was nervous for them in case we talk about positivity all the time and how we can deal with slight disappointments in our life. And there's people in this earth that's got motor neurons disease and all these bad diseases, and we're worried about losing a football match. I feel very guilty of that. But in the same token, the inspiration that they give each other can't be overlooked. A great bunch of people, really are.
Just how special are they?
They're the best achievers of all time. There's nobody can match what they've achieved. Nobody.
Thank you, Kenny.
Till kingdom come.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
And so say all of us. It's a fantastic achievement for Kenny and the whole squad, Stephen, isn't it?
It is, but it was nice that he put all the emphasis on the girls, because he's coming in, you know, he can give tactics, he can try and put it across. They have to go out and carry it out. And they did tonight, they did on Friday, and they have done since he came into the job. So all round, it's been a terrific night. And, you know, there were so many good individual performances to talk about. But a lot of those young players have came of age tonight.
And very briefly, what lies ahead at the Euros for them? You know, you've been there.
Who knows, but I think that the one word, you know, that I would describe this tonight is inspiring.
Shelley.
Absolutely inspiring.
Certainly is. Shelley, Stephen, thank you very much indeed. Northern Ireland tonight proved that dreams do come true from all of us here. Let's bye-bye.